What's going on, guys? Big welcome to you all to our channel. We are Team Crushing in the Meta, and today we're here for you guys with the tier list for standard for March 2020. So this would be the tier list that is active in the Springfest, so in teams. And we did two tier lists for you guys. One was before the ban list and one was after. So if you haven't seen the banlist video, you could check that out. So it will also be in the link in the description section below for you guys. You could click on that and check our video. In the video, we also talked about how the banlist should have looked like in our opinion. And today we will show you the tier list before the banlist and after. So before the banlist had, of course, 3 decks that were hit very hard, which were Tochikaze, Murakami, and Pale. And then you have Murakami, which is hit a little bit, and then we have, of course, the Errata or Riviera. So how did the list look like? Well, we had the clearly tier 0 deck in most players' eyes, not in my eyes, but even people in our group, Crushing the Meta, said that, well, actually, you could see very clearly that Riviera was the better deck, or Bermuda Triangle in general was actually tier 0. And because of that, we had tier 0. And now, we will show you if there's still a tier 0 or we just have tier 1. So then in tier 1, we had Murakami and Pale Moon. And you had Murakami just coming up to the tiers, try to become a tier 1. But for that moment, it was a tier 1.0 because Murakami and Pale Moon were still better than Murakami. Then we have tier 2. In tier 2, we had Shadow Paladin, Gold Paladin, and Aqua Force. Shadow Paladin and Aqua Force clearly being better than Gold Paladin, trying to hang in there, being a tier 2 deck. At tier 3, we had, you could put Gold Paladin at tier 3, but for that moment, we had Great Nature and Dimension Police. And then you had Tochikaze being the one and only rogue deck. So how does the tier looks like right now? With the, let's say, the ban list of nerving down Pale Moon, Murakami, and Bermuda, we have clearly a new deck that is becoming tier 1, which is Murakami Vanquisher, to be exact. Murakami Vanquisher is a very strong deck, and I think it deserves to be at tier 1. Also, it's a clan that is getting support right now, so Aquaphor, Shadow Paladin, and Murakami should all 3 be tier 2 or higher, and that's why Murakami is also chilling at tier 1, because the deck has almost everything. It has good defensive hand because you don't have to call too much, but you also plus by minusing your opponent field, and also you have a huge attackers like what Murakami does, but this deck does it a little bit in their own way. Next deck we have on the list is, of course, Bermuda. Bermuda has a lot of different decks you could build into them. Do not underestimate decks like Pacifica or Melody. But even without those two, Riviera is still doing great, even with the Errata. But it's not tier 0 anymore, it's tier 1. So it's more healthy to have these decks chilling at tier 1. And last but not least, we have Shadow Paladins. Shadow Paladins being Cleric Sword or Moderate, both decks are very strong, and I don't know which one is stronger. I still think that Moderate is better, but I think Cleric Sword, people will just now try experiment with the deck a little bit more, and the choices between Force 1 and Force 2 is more interesting. Cleric Sword, while Moderate, of course, always go for Force 1. So it could be more interesting to see Cleric Sword, but doesn't matter. Shadow Paladin is chilling at a great place and being at tier 1 right now, and we don't have tier 0 anymore. Then we have tier 2, and tier 2 is kind of strange in this format because we have a lot of decks that fall in the same tier, let's say, and some decks are slightly a little bit better and some decks are slightly a little bit less. And the first deck that we have right here is Aqua Force. Aqua Force is kind of a deck that is at tier 1.0, so it's chilling between tier 1 and tier 2. And then the other deck is Gold Paladin, and that deck is chilling between tier 2 and tier 3. So there is a huge difference between Aqua Force and Gold Paladin, the one being at the top of tier 2 and the other being at the way bottom of tier 2, but they're chilling on the same tier. So I don't know how Gold Paladin players in standards are trying to build or rebuild their decks, but I haven't seen a lot of gold Paladins anymore, although I still think that the deck is still very strong. We have like Agravaine right here. We have the Ezel. You could still make a different kind of decks, like 2 strong decks, even 3 I think, but we still want the deck to perform better, and I still think it has the potential to be a tier 2 deck, but it's just chilling at the bottom of tier 2. If we talk about Aqua Force being Maelstrom or being Raven, the clan has really good support, and with that, like Raven by itself is a very strong deck, depending on the way you build it. If you build it with the heal support, I think, let's say rear guards that could resend with the heals, of course, the blue wave if I'm not mistaken, or blue wing, then you could also do that, and the deck is still very strong, but you could build it in a lot of different way. And that's the nice thing about Raven, is like he does not really need rear guards with specific card names and stuff, and that's why it does work pretty good depending on the way you build it. And we have a lot of great Aqua Force players. Like from our team we have Jeroen, which is an amazing Aqua Force player, but we also have Varian. We have different Aqua Force players, but in Europe in general we have a lot of very good Aqua Force players. Some of them are very scary to play against even, but it's amazing to see that the clan is doing so well, and I'm very interested to see how far these good Aqua Force players will get them. The reflection of the screen is really nice. You can see me in blue. Okay, we talk about tier 3. In tier 3 we have 4 decks. First of all, Great Nature, then we have Genesis, then we have Murakami, and last but not least we have Dimensional Police. Dimensional Police, definitely a little bit better than tier 4, and that's why it's chilling at tier 3. Murakami is fallen from tier 0 to tier 1, from tier 1 to tier 3. Because Shiryuki is now up to 1, people who played Murakami because it was a, let's say, a deck that was chilling at the top tiers, they just played it for that because it was meta, now are selling their decks, while really hardcore Murakami players are trying to rebuild the deck that's still very strong. And me, I would be someone who would pick up Murakami right now, because I still think that deck has a lot of potential. Of course, not to play it in big tournaments, just for fun, but just being a clan that has a lot of potential, while some people gave up on it, it's still very good. And also, it's played by Yahagi Kyo, so one of my favorite characters, of course, in anime. So again, Murakami chilling at tier 3. The deck has potential to be even higher, but people needs to pick it up again and try to play it. The same with Pale Moon. Pale Moon is also now in the dump because people are just selling all of their Pale Moon decks and don't want to play it anymore. And people that have it will just leave it there and will just play another deck. We'll play Shadows, Aqua, or Narukami, and that's the way this game works. When the new deck comes up, it's a very strong deck. People just like to play it or practice with it at least. Genesis, with the upcoming support, will definitely be able to get to tier 3, and then Great Nature chilling at kind of a strange place for them. The reason is, what I'm saying is Great Nature has almost everything they need, except that something that makes them better. And the thing is with Great Nature, whenever we saw the support and every card came out in Great Nature, me and Tim from our team, we were just waiting for that one unit who will make that huge difference, that weapon, that sweeper for Tachikaze, and they didn't really get that. And I think you could make a very good balanced deck in Great Nature, and that's why it's chilling at tier 3, but it still will be missing something, and that's something that it's missing, you don't have it, so you can't put it in there. And that's my idea, or the idea of most of our guys from Crushing the Meta, is it should be tier 3, but it's kind of missing something to make it even better or good to go up in tier. And that's kind of it for tier 3. Now we have tier 4 and tier 5. Let's talk about tier 4 a little bit. All of the other clans that we didn't put in tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, we divided them into tier 4 and tier 5. We will not talk a lot about these clans because we still think that some of them could be a little bit higher, some of them could be a little bit lower, but let's talk about them. That logo that you see right there should be Kagero, so it's Nobutama, but it's supposed to be Kagero. So Kagero with Overlords, same as Royal Paladins with Blasters. They have like Kagero has two different builds. You have, of course, the build that you make with Blade Master and Waterfall, and then you have Overlords. And both builds are very strong, but they are tier 4 because people are not playing them anymore, especially not in standard. And people would like to play Kagero in premium, which is understandable because the deck is strong, doesn't need combo pieces, just go off. And in standards, it's a different way. It's a whole different way, and Kagero is just chilling behind. It's not as good as Dimension Police, and definitely not as good as Cleansac Bermuda, and that's why it's the whole retirement engine is not that effective as it should be. But then they have the restanding option, and then they have Force 2, but they don't create that huge columns to be able to destroy all of those XL clans. Then we have let's talk about Royals again. Royals is a clan that has a lot of rare guys. I mean, not rare guys, units. I mean, they have like a huge toolbox. They could build a lot of different decks. Like, they have a huge variety of cards. Problem with it, they could not put all of those in one deck. It's just so frustrating to see a clan that has so much support in the past and still chilling at tier 4 because people don't want to play the clan anymore. They just are waiting for the upcoming support for Blasters, and then maybe with MLB they will do something with the deck. I don't know. But with Ganzelot and the whole new drive check with Blaster Blade and Blaster Blade being a Vanguard, still the deck didn't really go up to the potential that it should have gone to. Then we have Tsukiyomi, or Oracle Think Tank in general. Oracle Think Tank is not doing that great because of XL. XL because of XL2. XL2 clans, or clans that play XL, are doing so good because of the XL2 mechanic, and that's why decks like Tsukiyomi, who are based on longer games and going into that stack and trying to ride into your second grade 3 to be able to optimize the skill of Tsukiyomi, sometimes you will not get into that. You will be dead way before that. And that's the problem with Tsukiyomi. How good the deck will also still be, it's kind of too slow for the format. Then we talk about Angel Feathers. Angel Feathers, they have their upcoming support, so I think they are from tier 5 to tier 4, but still they are not as strong to go up in tiers to go to be tier 2 or tier 1. Maybe tier 3, same as Genesis. But we'll have to wait and see how how the decks would work with the new Angel Feathers. I still think that they will be chilling at tier 4. Nova Grapplers got a lot of amazing decks. We have the Gold Hand deck. I like that a lot. More played in premium than the standard, which is kind of strange. But chilling at tier 4, they definitely have a lot of potential. People love to play them, then they could play them. That logo is Kagero. We talked about that already. Then we jump into Pale Moon and Spike Brothers. Pale Moon went down from being a tier 1 deck to a tier 4. The problem with it is the same as Murakami. People now do not want to pick the deck up anymore, and they just leave it there. Although I still think that the deck or the clan has a lot of potential, as in Nightmare Dolls, as in Silver Thorns, as in whatever you want to build out of the deck. Maybe even end of stage, I don't know. But I still think that the deck has a lot of potential, as in Silver Thorns or the clan in general. But the problem with it is Murakami. And the most important thing is people now kind of dislike to play Pale Moon. So it had to fall back, the same as Murakami, to people who really love to play the clan and really want to see the clan do even better. And even those decks, if they have multiple decks, I mean, even those people, if they have multiple decks, then the question still is, will they pick Pale Moon up when they go to a huge tournament, or they will just leave it there? Then we go to Spike Brothers. We know that Spike Brothers has a lot of huge fans, as of me. It's still like Spike Brothers, it's chilling at tier 4 for now, because the way I see it, people are really playing Spike Brothers their own way. People are making mistakes while playing it. People are not optimizing the deck, like sometimes even guarding with a lot of more guard value. Then after that they kind of need that. Sometimes you have to guard the right rear guard. Sometimes you have to take out the Ronaldo to put other options in there. And I've talked about this in multiple videos. When I talk about Spike Brothers, is the thing is with Spike, the same as almost all other clans, but with Spike Brothers definitely is like, people kind of dislike the clan because the art is kind of different. It's based on a sport, and we are playing card games, so we're talking about nerds. And and it's just like Sparkles as a clan does not fit into the whole game sometimes. And I do understand 100% that people sometimes dislike to play the clan, but even people who play the clan, I love to see those people do better, because I've seen a lot of different videos on YouTube and people are playing the deck, and I'd sometimes just go through them and see how they are playing the clan, and it's just like really disappointing to see sometimes how people are piloting the deck. And because of that, I kind of get a little bit disappointed, as I said, and I love to see the clan do a little bit better, but we need to see those people also try to do their heart to play better. And I've seen people who are very dedicated to Spike Brothers, as some of my friends from Europe, they even pick up another clan in the huge tournaments because they still think that Spike Brothers as a clan could not do that much in standard. But then you ask me, so all of that negativity about Spike Brothers, then you ask me, how good is Spike right now in the format? It's amazing. Spike Brothers have a very good control deck. They have draw power, they have the calling options, they still have the power that they could, like with the markers, they could move around. You could still even sometimes fall on force 2 and right into Bull Spike first, then go into Z3, and you still create a huge columns to destroy your opponent. What's the problem then? The problem is it's Spike Brothers as a clan that people dislike it. But for me, I think the Spike Brothers are doing great in Standard and in Premium. So I'm definitely very happy to see even more support, of course. But for now, I think that Spike Brothers chilling out very good. Place should be up in tier 2 or tier 3. But again, we're talking about the how people are playing the clan, and that's when it's chilling out tier 4. Then we have tier 5. A lot of decks that are right here that people just dislike to play, like Mega Colony. People are saying the deck is not that good anymore. Like we have a Neo Nectar, even with the support that they have got before Asha, of course, it's still the deck is not picked up that much and it's not that much played. While the deck creates huge columns, could have a lot of potential using Force 2, but still it's just not that good, let's say, or people just dislike to play it. Then we have a Grand Blue, the same. The deck has a lot of potential, but people dislike to play it. It's not as good as it should be, as in most Protect clans are doing not that good because of Excel. Then we have Link Joker. It's another clan that should have been Protect, but now it's Force. Link Joker, because they didn't get the lock mechanic, they didn't went back to their glory days that they had before. And now Link Joker is just chilling out tier 5. The same as Gear Chronicle. They still need their support. With their support, I know for sure they're going up. As we already seen how good Chrono Jet is, I still think that the deck will do amazingly good. Dark Irregulars, on the other hand, the same. It's not at a good place right now in Standard. Tachikaze, definitely by getting their Anger Blader down to 1, which definitely should have not been the case. I still think that Anger Blader should have gotten an errata that your opponent is at grade 3, then use his skill. And the second thing that they should have done is Sweeper and Anger Blader not in the same deck. And that's the only thing that I was very angry about when I saw the lists of the, let's say, the restriction list. Although I'm not a Tachikaze player myself, I still think that they should not have hit that clan that hard. And then we have Nubitama. It's the same. Nubitama has their support, has their new mechanic with the tokens, but it's still not as good as it should be, and that's why it's chilling at tier 5. So then we have tier 1, 2, and 3. Let's talk a lot like fast about those, because those are the most interesting. We have Murakami, Paladin, and Bermuda chilling at tier 1. Then we have Aqua Force going very, let's say, in a slim line between them and tier 1, so they're going in tier 1.0. Then we have Gold Paladins chilling beneath that between tier 2 and tier 3. And then we have tier 3 as being the other clans like Dimension Police. Murakami still doing good in my opinion. People just reshape the deck. And then we have Gold Paladins, Genesis and Great Nature. And that's actually it for this video. I would like to thank you guys for watching, for all the supports you give to our channel. Don't forget to go to our YouTube channel if you're watching this on Facebook or on other social media. Go to our YouTube channel and of course subscribe and like our videos. But also comment below what you think about these videos, and also if you agree with the list or not. Thanks all for watching, and stay tuned for more Crushing the Meta. Till next time.